The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL, but you're encouraged to like and share them. And you might as well hit that subscribe button too, because it's time for the Sue-EllenSanders Show with Sue-EllenSanders.
Welcome to the Sue-EllenSanders Show, and we're so glad you're here. We are back in the studio with our masks on. So we're happy that you're here and you're listening. And one of the things that we've been talking a lot about is taking events that we do outdoors because in pandemic times, we've discovered that it's easier to separate when you're outdoors. You're also, you've got the best filtration system in the world, literally in the world outdoors. And so we're really happy to have Heathcote Botanical Gardens here today talking about some events that are coming up that are both outdoors. And also, you might be listening and thinking, hey, I want to do an event at Heathcote Botanical Gardens too. And you would be able to do that. And you're going to find out how in this radio show. So first of all, I have with me Chris Adams, and she is the forever board president at Heathcote Botanical Gardens. And Chris has probably logged more hours here at the radio station talking about Heathcote than anybody that I know, right?
That you're probably right.
Yeah,
maybe it's just as well that we haven't kept track.
Yeah, just as well. But now we have recorded shows, so we can go back and count from here on in. So just to let you know. And also with us today is Joan Friedman. She is the executive director of Heathcote Botanical Gardens. And you're, 6 months, 9 months on board?
I'm about 5 months into my role here as the executive director of Heathcote Botanical Gardens.
So we already know that Joan is smart enough to surround herself with experienced people because Chris is here at the radio show with her.
Yes.
Thank you.
Chris is the amazing asset to Heathcote. And for all the years, I think we're going 35, she has just not been there the whole 35, but has been just an amazing asset to the garden, one that we treasure.
Thank you.
How many years have you been president?
I don't admit to how many years it has been. I have volunteered there since 1996.
Yeah, because I think I've been doing this radio show here on WPSL for 20 years. And actually, 20 years, October 1st. So we just passed my 20-year anniversary. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if I look back on one of those early calendars, Chris was probably one of that first year's guests.
But I don't think I was president.
No,
then. I
you
may
worked
have been
your way
chairing Garden Festival. And I thought I'd graduated from that, but I'm back helping again this year.
So let's talk about Heathcote Gardens to begin with, because, we've got a lot of time and we can talk about Chris can give us a little bit of idea. Every time we have you on the show, we do a little bit of the brief history. We don't need to go into a lot of details, but for people who haven't heard of Heathcote before, let's give us an overview. Joan's already said 35 years, so it's been 35 years. What's been going on with Heathcote with 35 years, Chris?
It started in, I believe the land was purchased in 1985 and opened to the public in 1986. So we are looking forward to next year doing some very interesting things for our 35th year. What is now Heathcote Botanical Gardens had been Heathcote Nursery, plant nursery. And the people who owned it were getting older and decided they wanted to sell it. And there was an option for it to be purchased and turned into apartments. And there were 5 women who got together and said, we can't let this treasure go to waste. And so they put their heads together and they raised enough money with the help of the county, the city, a couple of very generous donors and other people, and purchased the land.
Are any of those 5 women still involved today? I don't think I've ever asked you that question.
I wouldn't say involved. Jan Bowles and Norma Casson's Axe and Peggy Berg are still alive.
So again, they're still here in on the Treasure Coast.
Yes,
so
they are. I believe they all live in Fort Pierce.
Yes.
The other 2, one of whom was Gloria Moore, who really was our foremother, if you will, and spearheaded all of this, and she died a few years ago. But her daughter, Miriam Charles, has been our head gardener for 7 years, maybe, and just recently retired. So it has definitely been a hands-on grassroots effort from the beginning. And we have made a lot of progress and a lot of innovations over the years, and really are there as an urban oasis for the area.
So from its small roots, not only has Heathcote roots, we're using all these gardening metaphors.
Yes.
I'm really proud of us, actually. So Heathcote has not only grown in the square footage that it covers, but it's grown also in what you have there.
Yes.
And what you do. And I remember when the bonsai garden was first begun, and how that has grown and developed,
Right.
and the different special events that you've had there. So I don't know that there was ever a better time for us to really take advantage of everything Heathcote has to offer than right now, when we're all being told, if you're going to do something, do it outside.
Absolutely, and we are delighted to be able to offer that to the public.
So right around the corner from right now, actually, this weekend, the 17th and the 18th, we have the Garden Festival. And I know you're listening to this radio show this weekend. And whatever time you're listening, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, the Garden Festival is going on and has hours on Saturday from 9 to 4 p.m. and Sunday from 10 to 3 p.m. Joan or Chris, you want to tell us a little bit about what's going to go on at the Garden Festival? Is it business as usual, and what exactly is that?
Okay, well, it's going to be very different than business as usual, but all of the community is welcome to come out to this year's Garden Festival. It is 100% free admission for all. You do not need to be a member. You can just come and look at the beautiful environment that Heathcote has, and then come participate at the Garden Festival. We have a number of vendors that we've been fortunate to have secured for this. We have art, we have food trucks, we have natives, herbs, and exotic plants. And we have just a Chinese auction. We have holiday decor. We have tea in the garden, like pieces that you can purchase. And also we have a tea in the garden that tickets will be available for this year's event. We will have garden tools and Florida native wildflowers. So there's a full array of opportunity to come and see some of the very interesting side of the creativeness of the vendors who come out for Garden Festival, and also to have the ability to come and see the beautiful Heathcote Botanical Gardens. Come and visit our bonsai gallery. Come and visit our palm walk, our cycad area, and then of course go into the rainforest. Our children's area is magnificent. There are so many artistic pieces. We have just added 2 magnificent lions that have been mosaicked by Miss I'm sorry,
Anita Prentice.
Anita, thank you, Anita Prentice. Yes,
When
thank
you say mosaic, I say
yeah,
Anita
Anita
Prentice.
Prentice. Yes, and they just they sit there in majesty of the beginning of the children's garden. It is something to see, and they are just works of art. So I hope everybody can come out, and as Sue Ellen said, it's going to be Saturday at Heathcote Botanical Gardens from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. There'll be food, fun, family activities, and it's all at 210 Savannah Road, Fort Pierce, Florida. Please come and visit and enjoy in a healthy environment where we will be following CDC guidelines, but we'll be there to have all enjoy the outdoor environment and the beautiful place that Heathcote is.
So there will be mandatory face masks.
Correct.
And then there also the different vendors will be socially distanced.
Yes, each tent will be 6 feet apart, and we have advised each vendor that they need to put out some type of divider to keep the customers that are looking at their wares at a 6-foot distance as well, but in a way where they can still have the ability to explain their work of art or their plants and things of that nature.
Well, that's one thing I really love about the garden festival is because instead of just buying a plant or an herb with some instructions stuck in it, if you're lucky, at a garden center, you have somebody who can talk to you about it.
Yes.
You can have you can learn more than just if it needs full light or no light. You could learn about, because you might not understand exactly what's going to happen to your plant if you plant it out in front of your house where it has the Florida sun hitting it not 24/7, okay, 12/7 every day. And you might need some advice. I know Chris and I talk about this every year, but it's probably been 10 years since I bought that triple ponytail. And I still have it, and it's still alive. And
Yay for our size.
yeah, I know. And Chris and I have also talked a lot about the fact that I don't have a green thumb. And so I require a lot of advice when I'm purchasing plants.
I think you're absolutely right, Sue Ellen. There are experts that are going to be here that are trying to share their knowledge with you. And there's not a better place that I can think of that if you have that green thumb or that black thumb or whatever
Or
you
something
have
in between, yeah.
These are the individuals who will guide you through the process. And I think that is so important because as we get involved in maybe new hobbies now, this is an outdoor hobby for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it could be something so new, and we're all in a very unique way of learning how to do things. A lot of it is done on YouTube videos, but here it is, we have somebody to do it in person, and that is such a wonderful thing. I also have one other really great thing to share, that not only do we have all of these vendors, but we do offer education and presenters that we will be having in our Bonsai Gallery Pavilion. And there will be on the 17th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Good Bugs, Bad Bugs. That is going to be presented by Linda Salisbury. Then we have Dana Fisher, also on the 17th from 12 to 12:30. Beekeeping, is it right for me? The answers to be determined. And then also on Saturday,
If you're allergic to bees, probably not.
Yeah. Nan Billings is a wonderful children's educator.
She
We
is,
do
yeah.
have a lot of activities at the garden with her at the helm. She's great with the children and just breaking things down so they can really fully take it all in and learn the lessons that she so candidly creates and really resonates with the kids. And that's going to be from 1 to 3, and it's going to be children's art. So Nan Billing will be there on Saturday. On Sunday, we have plants for butterflies, bees, and birds from 1 to 2 by Anne Marie Leveridge. And then also Children's Art Again by the Nan Billings. And this time she will have an assistant by the name of Susan Yote. So we are excited about all the opportunities coming up this weekend. We hope that people realize this is a safe environment and it is a welcome change to come out and to get out in the sun and do some fun things and be with your family and come and visit Heathcote and learn more about this urban oasis that is in the middle of Fort Pierce.
And I think we're actually supposed to be getting a little bit cooler weather for this week, is what I thought
can
that I
hope.
heard. Yes.
Yeah.
Even 5 degrees. We'll take whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever we could get. But a little bit about your children's activities and your programs. I know typically Heathcote has monthly and even weekly types of workshops. Have you continued those? Are you going to start them?
Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we have not been able to start that process yet. That is the hopes as things we hope going back to maybe a better place that we can start implementing those types of programs. We're very anxiously awaiting to do so. But with the pandemic, it has been, because kids, as much as you they get into it and then they're
Right.
standing right next to one another
Right.
and breathing on one another. So we want to be careful of everybody's
How about
health.
the adult programs? Are they on hiatus as well?
They are. Yes.
Okay. So one thing that's really great is that there are a lot of different things that you can find out about Heathcote Botanical Gardens on their website and on their Facebook page. And if you want to check on any activities or if you want to check on when different types of things are going to be starting back up, definitely find Heathcote Botanical Gardens on Facebook and like them, so then you'll get notifications of when you publish special events. And also check out their website, which has got a lot of great information on it.
We do. And that is www.heathcotebotanicalgardens.org. And if I can please spell Heathcote, and that is Heathcote.
Well, Cliff is going to put some words underneath our pictures that
Wonderful.
spell it out for people who see this. So if you're driving down the road and you're not watching this on video on demand, then Heathcote, well, if you take it apart, Heath is the typical way to spell Heath, and then Cote is Cote. And what they offer there, in addition to respite from the day-to-day activities as they're coming back, is a outdoor event venue. So before we get into the other big thing that's coming up beginning right after Thanksgiving and continuing through New Year's, the Garden of Lights, which is another big annual event. Let's talk just a little bit about how people in the community can take advantage of Heathcote and what you have to offer if people want to host their special events there.
Absolutely. Heathcote has incredible rental space for any type of event that you would like to have. We seem to be a favorite amongst the brides and the grooms, especially having their ceremony on the main lawn, underneath the trees that are just so delightful and lovely. We also have the ability to be to host very large events. You know, like just a big wedding for even 175 people under tents and things like that, where you can have quite an array of guests that can come out now because we're not really limited as much anymore with the amount of people. But we do big weddings, we do small weddings. We are happy to do engagement parties. We're happy to do gender reveal parties. We are happy when people come to the garden. And the one special thing is when they do come to the garden, not only do they get this beautiful place to have their event, but the garden is also open for them to go and view the beauty that the garden brings to all of the people that come to Heathcote. So it is a win-win situation. Our rates are extremely reasonable, and it is your choice, whatever caterers you want to use or anything like that. So we are about the space, and we are about providing the best opportunities for your event and being there for you, but having it where you can feel quite comfortable, especially during this difficult time, because it will be outdoors.
And that leads us, right, Chris, did you want to add to that? That leads us right into the Garden of Lights, because that's another annual event that takes a lot of time to prepare for, at least for Heathcote and for Chris, but a little bit of time for us to enjoy, and it begins the weekend following Thanksgiving, correct, Chris?
Yes, Thanksgiving weekend. So the
Friday.
day after Thanksgiving, when you're all full of turkey and the fixings, you can come and walk it off at the opening night of Garden of Lights.
And so it starts that Friday and Saturday night, and runs all the way through Friday and Saturday night, right into January 2nd is the last night.
Yes, yes.
And I try to make an annual trip there, because it's an opportunity. Not only is that like the best time of year to be outside and to be in the gardens, but you also get to see everything all lit up, and that's really special.
They are amazing. The group that calls themselves the Illuminators, and they started working back before COVID. I mean, it is almost a year-round activity. But then in September, they really cranked it up, and some of them had been creating displays and vignettes all summer at home, and then they brought them, and then they begin to install them. When you come for Garden Festival, you will see some of them already set up in the gardens, because it does take a long time, and they are just amazingly dedicated to make sure that it is a wonderful show for everyone.
And I know when my kids got older and moved away or went to college, they would come home, and they weren't there to help put up lights at home, so we really reduce the amount of lights we put up every
I can
year.
understand that. Yes.
And then one year, my daughter came home and she said, "Where are all the Christmas lights?" And we took her to Heathcote and showed her.
I
That's
like
where they
that
all
story.
went.
That's
Yes.
exactly.
Here they are. And look, we're not paying the power bill, and we don't have to take them down because, as much time as it takes to prepare, it takes a whole lot of time to take them
Yes.
down as well.
When this will be the 6th year of Garden of Lights. That seems hard to believe. And one of the things that we had to do that very first year was to purchase another shed to be installed at the back of Heathcote that holds all of the lights
To store
and
them.
whatever equipment that they need, and they use that whole shed.
Well, I'm sure it's not like our boxes of Christmas lights where when I take them down, if my husband's not looking, I shove them all into Publix plastic bags and put them in a box.
No, you're very right. They are very organized, and it's very well detailed with boxes labeled. Yes.
So from 5:30 to 9 o'clock between November 27th and January 2nd on Fridays and Saturday nights, you'll be able to see the lights. Now remember, daylight savings time changes in October. Oh, it is October.
Yes, it is.
When does daylight savings time change? Halloween weekend?
The first weekend in November, I
Is it
think.
the first weekend
Yeah,
in November
I
this year?
believe it is,
It-
yes.
Whichever it is, and I'm not going to give wrong information because just in case somebody changes their clocks and blames it on Sue-EllenSanders,
Yes.
we know that by Thanksgiving it will have changed. So,
Yes, there you
so
go.
it will be dark or near to dark at 5:30, and so you can come and view the lights. And so I have been there before for that event too, and you have it spread out for so many Fridays and Saturday nights that it's not a crowd at all, and you just kind of wander through the garden, and you have an opportunity to see some creative lights and take some photographs. And if you go there early enough in the year, maybe you can take your holiday photos there too.
This is true, you could. And there will be areas like Heathcote House, the Pioneer House, and the entry building that houses the gift shop that will be decorated. And so even if you wanted to do a daytime photo, it could have a holiday feel.
You could come and do that too.
Right.
Now I have several photos with the big bear.
Mm-hmm.
Heathcote the bear.
Yeah, the bear. I was wondering, does he have a name or anything, or is he just Heathcote?
Heathcote the bear.
That's his name.
The
Is he?
bear, yes.
Yeah.
And he will be back starring at Garden of Lights again this
So
year.
and if you want an added addition to your family photo, I'm sure
Yes.
Heathcote would be more than welcome and willing to be part of your photo as well. And that's the thing about the Garden of Lights. It's the type of activity that you could either do and enjoy as your whole evening's entertainment, or you can just go out to dinner and then go by there and walk off some of the food that you've eaten
Right.
and enjoy it. Now, you do have ticketing information for that.
Yes, we do. The tickets can be purchased online at our website. They will go on sale probably around the 7th or 8th of November, that you'll be able to purchase the tickets online at our website at www.heathcotebotanicalgardens.org, and then you can go to the Garden of Lights. And then, of course, we do recommend that you do purchase your tickets online, but you can also purchase your tickets in person. And if you are a member of Heathcote Botanical Gardens, it is $5 for members. It is $10 for non-members. Kids under 6 are free, and kids from 6 to 12 are only $3. So it is a very inexpensive way for you to celebrate the holiday time of year, come out and see the lights, and enjoy your family time together.
Do people have to purchase tickets ahead of time, or can they purchase them at the door?
Yeah, they can purchase them at the door. Yes.
So just in case you're like my household and we don't always know what we're doing the next night. Yeah, you can wait.
Yes, there are lots of options.
There's lots
for
of options,
purchasing.
and you already have, like you said, this weekend at the Garden Festival. You'll be able to see some things that are already up, because it's something that your committee, the Garden of Lights committee, starts working on, and where do they come up with the ideas for some of the things that they do?
I would say that the illuminators that are at Heathcote are some of the most creative people I've had the good fortune to meet. And a lot of them really, I think, just in their creative brain, they create these images. And from these images, they start kind of the mechanics of how they're going to bring these images to life with lights. And I have been witness to seeing some incredible pieces of work that will be out there. One is an Attila butterfly. One of the illuminators is out there 2 or 3 days a week creating this Attila butterfly that is just a magnificent piece of work, and it's creativity at its best for sure. We have a recycle bed. That recycle bed is just old bottles of water and pop and soda and juice, and they take them and make them into the most incredible flowers that will be illuminated. And it will be a whole bed of recycle illuminations.
So it's not just the lights; it's what they're illuminating that are going to be part of the art.
Artists,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Our bonsai collection which is world renowned, and they will also be illuminated by very high grade outdoor lighting that are really there not to endanger the life of the bonsai or inhibit anything from the bonsai and its growth path. And that was something that we will be illuminating every bonsai to create a path of just of light, of beauty and splendor and spectacular. It will look like someplace you just can't even, you couldn't even imagine. It's just going to be absolutely stunning. We also have a scavenger hunt. So some of the people make different types of items of animals that we all love. So there could be a fox all lit up, and then we give the families, when they come in, the sheet of all the different animals that they can find in the illuminations. And it's just a lot of fun, and the kids love it. And then we have a reef garden. It's like somebody once said to me, it's like walking in under the sea, that you're seeing and witnessing all these different pieces of beauty that you would see in an underwater environment. And we're creating this with natural pieces of illuminations. And this is all done through the illuminators, their visual creativeness, and their lighting. It's nothing like any place ever. It's just so unique in its own self. It's amazing.
Yes, and which brings us to the point that I would say at least 95% of what you will see are items that have been created by the volunteers. They're not things that they go online and say, I want one of these
Exactly,
and two of these
yes.
and three of the other. So it is very unusual. And to go back to what Joan said about the Attila butterfly, the Attila butterfly was thought to be extinct in this area. And subsequently has been rediscovered, if you will, first on Hutchison Island and now on parts of the mainland that are close by. And Heathcote is one of those places where the Atala butterfly has been
Is it something
seen.
about what you grow there that attracts it? Obviously, the butterfly garden, but
Well, yes, it is attracted to kuntis, which are prehistoric plants that go back to the time of the butterfly, or the dinosaur.
the dinosaur
The
butterfly.
dinosaur.
Yeah, no.
Along with ferns. They're a very low form of plant life, and that is their preferred place to lay their chrysalis. And we have quite a few there. So it was very exciting when we discovered that there were some at Heathcote 2 or 3 years ago. And so that is the reason for this display, and there will be signage that goes along with it that tells about how special they are.
So, the illuminators are going to have a light butterfly too. It's not just attracting, because obviously you're not going to be able to see the real butterflies at
this
night.
will be,
You're going to have the display.
A lighted image that is made out of, lights and wire and spit and baling wire. I don't know what their creativity does.
All different. A lot of it is foam and just all these different things that you would go into Michael's and they walk in there and they have this whole shopping list, but their brain just kind of knows in their mind what they need and how to plot, how to make it malleable and everything, where they're just creating what they have envisioned. So
Their imaginations allow.
Right.
yeah, their imaginations run wild.
And they are always open to additional people who would like to be part of the illuminators, especially people who have creative ideas. A lot of the illuminators tell me that they're really good at putting it together once somebody tells them what to do. So
So there's places for bosses and for leaders, and there's also places for doers on
absolutely.
the illuminators team.
And there are lots of places for volunteers
Yes.
for the event itself. Each night requires 20 to 30 volunteers, and you multiply that by 12, and you have a big number.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Heathcote's need for volunteers in general and how one can volunteer. Can people sign up also online, or do they need to talk to somebody?
Absolutely. They can go to our website and they can go to volunteers, and there's a volunteer sign up sheet there. But they are welcome to call the office. They can ask for me. My name is Joan. Or they can ask for Holly. We both work at the office of Heathcote and are happy to talk to volunteers and find out what their interests are, because there is a menu of opportunities for volunteers on just a general basis, and that would include gardening volunteers. We always are looking for people who like to garden, who want to assist in some of the processes of that. We also have a beautiful gift shop. Our gift shop does and has always been run by volunteers. So we're always looking for people to facilitate the admissions and the sales of the items that are so carefully thought about in the gift shop and that are creating those memories for them to go home and have those precious gifts for their loved ones. We're also always looking for garden ambassadors, people who go out there and just kind of tout all the wonderful things that are out there at Heathcote Botanical Gardens. Sometimes we are a hidden treasure. I love being a treasure. I don't really, I want to not be so hidden. I want to be well known. And ambassadors would definitely help that. I do work in the office a lot, and I would love to have people that do like to do some office work, that maybe have some skills that they could share, help with mailings, filings, maybe answering the phone. That would be wonderful. Nothing hard, and you'll always know how much we value you. Committees, we have lots of committees, and if you want to become a committee member, we will definitely welcome that opportunity. And then we're always, for our events and our children's events, we are always looking for volunteers. So if you love those little kiddos and you want to come out and work with them, are you going into the teaching field and just kind of want to work with kids? Come give us a call.
Or you're leaving the teaching field and you still want to work with kids. I know the last few times I've been at Heathcote at the different events, there were a whole lot of retired teachers who were there as volunteers, because it's it's something that people dream of, to be able to be out in nature in a situation where you're surrounded by the beauty of the different plants and the gardens, and even if you're just playing one small role in taking care of it, it really adds to it. So most pressingly, coming up now, we need the sign-ups. Heathcote needs the sign-ups for the Garden of Lights to volunteer, because as Chris said, 20 people per a night you need as a volunteer. And then also for the Garden Festival, we're running it this weekend, so.
Well, we still have a few spots for volunteers, and both of these events are wonderful for high schoolers who need community
service hours. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Joan.
Yeah.
You and I have made some comment about it being a hidden treasure, and Chris, we've discussed over the very many years we've talked about Heathcote, that it is between US 1 and Indian River Drive on Savannah Road. So it's really in the center of town, but it's tucked away where, you feel very private,
Yes.
even though it's convenient to wherever you're coming from. Now, over the years, there have been different things on US 1 that we knew to turn at. And all of those things have gone by the wayside.
Yes, they have.
But Heathcote is still there.
Heathcote is still there, and there is a sign to tell you that Heathcote does exist on Savannah Road. So if you are heading north, that you will see where you need to make the right-hand turn onto Savannah Road, there is a Dairy Queen there. Unfortunately, the Dairy Queen is not running right now, but it's still there, and you see Dairy Queen. And it is a great way for you to have that point on Savannah Road. And
to see where to turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're going south, I believe that there is a sign as well. It tells you to turn here onto Savannah Road.
Okay.
So it is, we are fortunate that we do have those signs up that do help. But we want people to know all about us, and by coming out and visiting, having an event there, knowing that it's a safe environment, it's a beautiful environment, and it talks all about the beauty of what the Florida native plants and just how we're able to really keep things looking very very flowery and beautiful in a very urban environment.
So the Garden Festival, we're listening to this show. If you're driving down the road or if you're at home and you're listening to it running now, the Garden Festival is going on right now. So if you're driving down US 1, go ahead and take that turn on Savannah Road. If it's Saturday and you're listening and it's between 9 and 4 p.m. or Sunday between 10 and 3 p.m. Because it's free admission. And not only will you see a vast variety of flowering and what are non-flowering plants called, Pat?
Haven't a clue.
Okay, non-flowering plants.
Well, succulents can
Well,
be.
succulents
that's
are,
a-
that's a
yeah,
whole
that's
other
other
category.
category.
Yeah. And if you decide, you wanted to start a garden, know that October is not the typical time to start a garden, but hey, we're in Florida, so really you can start a garden anytime here.
This is the best time.
Is it the best time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you have been looking, or if you just want to get a few things to brighten up or fill in around what you may already have in the yard, this is a great opportunity for you because the Garden Festival is this weekend and it's free admission, and you'll be able to wander around and talk to the vendors, not just of growing living things, but also of other types of things that you can put in your garden.
Right.
So, Anne, may I mention our vendors, if I could?
Sure, as long as we're not reading a laundry list of them.
No, we
So
should
let's
be
just-
good.
Okay.
We have Art by Sharon. We have D.R. Bates. We have Dignity Food Truck. We have Direct Floral, the Fort Pierce Garden Club, Funky Air Plants, Gardens Gone Wild. We have Heathcote, and we're going to be doing memberships. And we have Horizons America, John's Jungle African Market Basket. We have artist Nancy Mitch. We have Native Butterfly Flowers. We have Pots and Rocks, Sandy Lilith, also paintings and an artist, Southern Blooms, Treasure Coast Beekeepers, and Wentz Antiques.
Okay, just for future use, that's what I call a laundry list.
Okay.
That's okay.
I just wanted
it
to
just-
get them in,
when-
yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of really awesome, and you may have. I'm not going to ask anybody who's stopping at Heathcote to try to remember all of those, but you can go online and you can check out if you have a favorite vendor to see if they're going to be there.
I believe that the list is online.
If
Yes.
not, then you can check it out on Facebook, and
Yes.
or just stop by there and check it out too, and get some fun things. I wanted to say just a couple minutes to talk about membership, because that's really important, because that's the lifeblood. Yes, Heathcote Botanical Gardens receives some dollars that are designated for them for, like, are you a designated, do you receive any federal or state dollars?
No.
No, you don't.
No.
So who pays then for you all to run the gardens?
Well, it is memberships, as you say. It is events. It is contributions, donations, and grants. And that
So
is
you
the
have
main-
grants. That's
We do have some grants.
okay.
Yeah.
So, especially with not everybody having a lot of events yet, or moving into having more events, it's really important to, if you're able to have an event at Heathcote, then it's a win-win, because not only are you having a lovely event and going to be outside a success for you, but you're also giving to Heathcote Botanical Gardens and making sure that they're around for another 35 years.
Right. And our memberships are very reasonable. An individual membership is $45 a year. A family membership is $65, and memberships go on up from there. But even with an individual membership, you get the opportunity to be part of the reciprocal garden program of the American Horticultural Society, which gives you privileges at 300 gardens and public botanical gardens throughout the country.
Throughout the country. So that's
Yes.
really an incredible opportunity for you to, whenever you're on vacation or visiting friends or relatives in other parts of the country, you can, and you want to go and check out one of the other gardens,
Yes.
you can do that for free. And then you also get free admission all the time with your memberships. And then there's other perks to some of your memberships as well, like your corporate memberships, right?
There are, as you go up the ladder, there are, but I would say that probably is the most significant part of being a member.
Is that
Besides
reciprocal?
that, you can come, whenever you want to Heathcote at no charge, is the reciprocal gardens, and it makes a wonderful gift for other people if you want.
Yes.
Because our membership prices truly are much more reasonable than most botanical gardens.
So if you're trying to rack your brains and think of a family gift for relatives or family friends, something that you could easily roll up and put in their stocking, this is a perfect opportunity for them, a membership to Heathcote Botanical Gardens. It's something that's going to help them think of you all year round, because you're giving them the opportunity to be a part of you're giving back to Heathcote, and then just to go and enjoy themselves. I know people, especially people who work downtown Fort Pierce, that sometimes go to Heathcote on their lunch break just
Yes.
to sit there and enjoy the peace and quiet and the nature around you. So is there anything else you want to add? I know we talked about your two big events that are coming up. One this weekend, the Garden Festival, and then Thanksgiving through New Year's on Friday and Saturday night, the Garden of Lights. And for those of you who have been to the Garden of Lights before, there's always something new to look at.
Yes.
And,
Yes, there are.
you might even get some great ideas for things that you might want to imitate at home next year.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is certainly a possibility. And as I mentioned early on, we have our 35th anniversary coming up next year. And we
Your
are...
Ruby anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're putting together a committee and determining what wonderful things we will do for that.
Thank you. And Chris Adams has been my guest. He's the president of Heathcote Botanical Gardens, along with Joan Friedman. She is the executive director of the gardens. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today.
Thank you, Sue Ellen, for having us. It was a pleasure.
And we'll see you over at the Garden Festival this weekend, or at the Garden of Lights Thanksgiving through New Year's, Friday and Saturday nights only. Have a great week. We'll see you next week with more.
The Sue-EllenSanders Show, with archives on YouTube at WPSLTV.com. You might as well hit that subscribe button, share, and like WPSL TV, and look for the Sue-EllenSanders Show and listen weekends on WPSL.